Okay, we're back and it's number 9 today, tip 9. So we're going to talk about today a little bit about programs and how programs should be looked at if you're a customer looking for programs, or what sort of questions you should be asking if you're discussing a program with a coach or looking online. So again, we're thinking about our training life cycle here, because during the life cycle, it's probably going to be a very good idea to have some kind of program to follow. So there's some key questions, and again, we're going to keep it fairly brief, so feel free to ask any questions to expand on these topics in the comments. So first of all, the program, there should be some basic details about what's included. So how many days a week, what sort of trainings are they? Are they 20 minutes? Are they 3 hours? Is it twice a day? That sort of stuff. Also, what kind of equipment should you need, if any? So those are sort of some just basic logistic type questions, because it's pretty important if it's supposed to be a 7-day program, 7 days a week, and you've only got 1 day to train. Already that should ring some alarm bells that maybe this is not the correct program for me. And it's a pretty simple question to answer, so if you're getting any doubts about that, it's already something to think about. Next is stuff we talked about in the earlier tips, like sort of what kind of goals, expectations, what kind of tests are involved in the program. So as a really simple example, if it's a strength gaining program, it's a strength program, then obviously your expectation should be that if you do the program well, there's going to be some kind of strength gain achieved during that program. Now, this is where you need to be very careful, or the coach should, or the program designer should make it very clear that it's hard to say something like, yeah, guaranteed 20 kilo progress on your bench press, because it's impossible to know. There's really, any coach who knows anything won't make those sort of promises, because every client is different, every situation is different. But still, if it's a strength program, it should be measuring strength and should be seeing hopefully strength gains if the program is followed well. Now, 1 kilo, 100 kilos, who knows? That's the difficult question. It's always good to ask about what tests are included as well. So if we're thinking again strength, there should be some kind of strength test. If we're doing conditioning, what are the conditioning tests? And if there are no tests, then it's going to be very hard to determine if that program is working, if it's a performance-based program. If the program is more like, hey, this is just about moving your body, feel good, look good kind of stuff, then the test might be totally different. It can be measured in other ways, such as satisfaction, happiness, how often you're attending, that sort of stuff. And that's totally fine and a good thing. Now, how? Now, what this means in this case, and what I'm talking about here, is that how are you supposed to do the program? Is it supposed to be an intense, hardcore program that's going to drain you every session, and then you recover and do it all again? Because that's very different from a, hey, let's turn up and just achieve something, have a good time, lift some weights, get a little bit sweat. Now, both are fine. It's just you've got to know what you're getting into, because you're not going to jump into some program with an expectation, hey, I'm just going to turn up, have some fun, chat with my friends, and then it's like an hour of hill sprints. It's not going to be a satisfying experience if you're not sure what you're getting. So it's always good to ask, like, how am I supposed to do this program? How hard is it going to be? How hard do I need it to be? Because that's another factor we've talked about. Like in the beginner phase, turning up is usually enough to make some progress. Turn up, be safe, get some techniques started. But in the intermediate phase, you've got to start putting in more effort. And so that needs to be established here when you're thinking about program. And then finally, and almost most important, is that the program designer and the program should have a clear audience. So who is this for? Like, is this an advanced program? Or are you looking at some Olympian's preparation program for a 100-meter sprint? And if you're a beginner and you're looking at that sort of program, that it's not a good matchup. You're asking for trouble with that sort of thing. If you're preparing for the Olympics, you probably should have your own personalized program. But anyway, the point being that there should be a clear audience for every program. Because if you see a program, again, this should raise some alarm bells that says, hey, this is for absolutely everybody, then it's probably not a good program, or it's just a feel good, just get some general health. Because If the program is, hey, go for a walk every day, then yeah, that's for everybody. But if the program is a strength and conditioning program, there needs to be an audience, because Olympic level, total beginner, 10-year-old, 90-year-old, they've all got some slightly different demands there. And so it can't be for everybody. And it's a simple question to ask, but you'll be surprised how many programs out there just marketing, hey, it's for everybody, it's for everybody, it's for everybody, just to try and catch as many people as possible. But that's a sign of a poorly developed program, or a coach who doesn't understand how programming works. So you should always ask that and hopefully get a clear answer. All right, well, that's today's tips. And as I mentioned, feel free to ask any questions so we can get a bit deeper into those categories or anything else on this topic. See you again next time.